Welcome to Snipisode 8 of the Daily Dose of DMC podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, 2023, and I am your host, HK. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Snipisode 8 of the Daily Dose. It is Wednesday, and we're halfway through the week, at least for some of us or some of you, and for others, it's just another Wednesday morning. I really hope it turns out to become a beautiful day for you. Today, I want to talk about fear. Yesterday, we talked about discipline. Today, I want to talk about fear. Fear, is something that's very close to me because I believe it hems us from moving towards a positive mindset. And, we live in a society that creates a lot of fear. But we'll get to that. So what I want to talk about is what fear is. Then we'll talk a little bit about the biology of fear, the psychology. We'll dig a little deeper there, how to cope with it, and then we'll kind of close from there. Yeah, so what exactly is fear? Fear is a natural emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. Yeah, so basically it's a survival mechanism. Yeah, your body prepares you for dangerous situations by activating what's known as the fight or flight response. Yeah, and it's normal. Yeah, it's within us. It's ingrained in us. Yeah, to take action when we encounter those dangerous situations. Yeah, there's numerous triggers. Yeah, there can be physical threats and non-physical. Yeah, like a physical threat would be you're going hiking somewhere and you encounter a wild animal. You're not sure what to do, and that sparks fear. Yeah, fight or flight. Another thing could be like you're in a car accident. Yeah, that's another physical threat. Non-physical threats are things like financial insecurity. That fear of constant fear of losing your job, which could lead to financial insecurity. Or another thing could be the fear of public speaking. Yeah, so there's lots of triggers of fear. Yeah, so let's move a little bit into what the biology of fear is. Yeah, where it stems from. So within our minds, yeah, fear to me, and I'll touch this in the next section around the psychology, but fear comes from the amygdala. Yeah, the amygdala is a small almond-shaped structure, which is in the brain, and it plays a key role in processing fear. Yeah, so when you perceive a threat, it kind of sends a signal to the hypothalamus, which then activates that fight or flight response. Yeah, where you start sweating, you break a sweat, you get nervous, maybe your knees tremble or whatnot. Or it puts you into fighting mode. And that is what the physiological reaction is, yeah? So, you can, like I just said, yeah, you've got that increased heart rate and whatnot. Your muscles are looking what to do and whatnot. Yeah, but it can have a long range, or a wide range, of physical effects on your body. Yeah? And if you live in constant fear, and this is where I see many people on numerous levels. Yeah, this can definitely lead to health problems. I mean, everything from high blood pressure, anxiety, a variety of disorders, depression, etc. Because the mind is so powerful. Yeah, your mind is so powerful, and that's what this podcast is all about. Is moving towards and transforming our minds to positivity. Yeah, dedication, motivation, and commitment. So let's talk about the psychology. Yeah. Where does fear come from? How does it stem? All these different, our past experiences, they play a significant role. Yeah, so if you've had a traumatic event in the past, yeah, you're more likely, when you're in that similar situation in the future, experience that same kind of fear, yeah? You can also perhaps develop a phobia, yeah, an excessive or irrational fear of a specific object or a situation, like arachnophobia, yeah, the fear of spiders. And this is tied closely to traumatic experiences. Some scientists also believe that we have a genetic predisposition towards certain fears, yeah, or to certain phobias. It's also something that we learn as we grow up. Yeah, if you see somebody within your let's say your family, and they have a fear of something, that fear will swap over to you as a child as you grow up. Potentially, yeah. So, and one more thing that's important to note here is there's a strong connection between fear and anxiety. Yeah, they're closely related emotions, but fear is the response to a specific perceived threat, whereas anxiety is more kind of a general sense or worry or like an unease about something. Yeah, and you'll feel either or in various situations. Yeah, that's how life is, and we've probably all gone through that. Yeah, but I want to dig a little deeper here. To me, fear and worry are they're born of the things or the results in our mind, yeah, which are influenced by external circumstances. That's what I believe. I think a lot of it stems from that craving, that attachment to things. And this may sound a little bit like spiritual here, and we will touch a little bit on that, yeah? But, to me, nothing in this world is permanent, yeah? Life is continuously moving, it's constantly changing, and oftentimes we change fear, like in the corporate environment when there's restructurings and whatnot, yeah? If you're young, you're young, you're powerful, you're youthful, you're afraid to die early, yeah? Because death is such a odd topic in a lot of our societies, yeah. However, on the other side of that, if you're old and you're in pain, in constant pain, you're concerned about living too long, yeah. Between those two, we have joy, yeah. We always want that joy, the continuous joy in our lives, always be happy. But that fleets away very quickly. Those things pass off very quickly, Whereas fear, it creates those anxieties within us, within our minds, and they don't seem to go away, And all these feelings are natural, but you can train your mind, yeah, to control that mental unrest, yeah. And I want to quote Buddha here. I took this from Buddha. There's a quote that goes, from cravings springs grief, from cravings springs fear. For him who is wholly free from craving, there is no grief, much less fear, yeah? So think about that. Think about this very closely, yeah? Like I said, I believe that all forms of attachment will end in grief, whether it's physical, so whether it's tangible or intangible, Oh, the damage to my car, the loss of my job, what if I get hit by something, or I fall off this cliff, or somebody thinks this about me? All those things, yeah? Everything in life is transient. It only lasts for a short amount of time, yeah? And Buddha also says, yeah, quote, wheresoever fear arises, it arises in the fool, not the wise man. Yeah? So like I said, I think fear is it's a state of mind. It definitely, it's a mental condition. If we can learn to break free from that, yeah, then ultimately you will overcome just about any kind of fear, yeah? Your state of mind is subject to control and direction, yeah? Especially when it comes to communication and the influences that we put into our mind, yeah? The negative use of thought produces fear. It produces panic and anxiety and stress and terror, despair, resentment. I could go on, yeah? But if you fill it with positivity, yeah, that enables hopes and ideals, yeah, your dreams and your goals to be realized, yeah, and the choice is completely with each one of us, myself included. You, yeah, the decision is entirely yours, yeah. Everybody has the ability to control their own mind, and I'll touch on that a little bit because I do want to put a little asterisk on it, because I want to talk about communication and how we put things into our minds, yeah? But everyone is capable of controlling their own thinking, yeah? If there's one thing, I truly believe, nature has equipped us, yeah, from birth with the ability, yeah? We have the power, the absolute complete control over exactly one thing, and that is thought. Yeah, just think about it. I'm always fascinated. I tell my wife, whenever we're out somewhere and I see something, or, every machine and airplanes and engines, and the fact that, we talk on a phone, whatever it may be, yeah, the chefs cooking different kinds of food, everything that we create is born from a thought. And that's why our minds are so powerful. And that's why when fear gets into it, it really wrecks us, yeah? So let's move into the topic of coping with fear, and I'll touch about, this is where I want to discuss also about, controlling your own mind and how things come to us. But there's a couple things you can do to cope with fear, and there's some strategies, and you can manage your fear in that specific situation. You can take deep breaths. You can use positive self-talk. You can use visualization techniques. All those things to help calm your body, to reduce those physical symptoms, yeah. There's various other techniques. You can go to therapy, you can go to counseling. These are, things that you can do to, process and to help understand your fears and to manage them if and that's what our society tells us to do, and I think it's good, finding support as well, seeking that help from others. If you're having difficulty, coping with a specific type of fear, then I do encourage that. And it's important, to utilize people that you trust, not just to go and talk to a random health professional, but somebody who really, knows what they're doing, is really empathetic and passionate about what they do. Yeah. However, the key to help you understand by which fear could potentially be mastered, and I find this one very interesting. Yeah. And again, I took this from a book. I got to find it where, just to make sure I cite the reference correctly. But in this, there was a British anatomist who was asked by a student how to cure fear. Yeah. And that person replied, try doing something for someone. Yeah. And the student responded, I don't quite understand. And the anatomist said, you can't have two opposing sets of thoughts in your mind at one and the same time. One set of ideas will always push the other out. If your mind is entirely absorbed with a selfless desire to help someone, you can't feel afraid at the same moment. Think about that. I really think I had to meditate on this for a very long time, to kind of fully comprehend what was being said, because I was having this discussion with my wife and saying this and then arguing that and just kind of trying to process that, But that is so important, and it's not the same way. It's not like the last year, the pandemic, take a vaccine, save everybody else, messaging, communication. And this is something I want to discuss on quickly, because this is something that affects our society so much today, at least from my perspective, the way I see it. Fear is communicated in messaging and communication, and it has a major impact on our minds and how we, and then how we process that and respond to it. And there's so much research. You can do your own due diligence. There's so much research that, using certain language and imagery amplifies our feelings, of fear and anxiety. Because fear appeals, Everything you see in the news today, everything you see on the internet, so much, everything revolves around fear, around negativity, because that's what sparks our interest, That's what brings the clicks and the eyeballs, Fear appeals. It's that simple, And with fear, you can motivate behavioral change, By appealing to, your individual fear of negative consequences. It gets our attention. You create feelings of fear and anxiety and even hopelessness. However, you can also use, uncertain or ambiguous language. I believe a lot of politicians are very good at this. The type of communication, when they talk like this, creates that sense of uncertainty. It makes people feel like they don't have enough information to understand a situation. And then to make an informed decision. And we rely on others to pass us that information because we associate their positions, their job titles, who they are, who they're seen as in society, as those experts or whatnot, to give us that, that information and to break it down in layman terms so that we understand the situation and then we can make an informed decision. However, that uncertain and ambiguous language has, increases that feeling of fear and anxiety. And just imagine on the flip side of that, if we had direct, honest communication from corporations, from politicians, from people around you in your daily lives, it would certainly reduce feelings of fear. It would provide you with clear and accurate information and alleviate any kind of feeling, of that you have of uncertainty or an anxiety in your job or in life in general. Just imagine this. Imagine, if I was the mayor of a city, you know what campaign I would do? I would put out billboards all across my city, with the same things that you see on, on Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram for a long time, but those inspirational quotes and stuff, things like, there's nothing impossible to those who try, or, when you have a dream, go grab it, never let it go. Nothing is impossible. It's like that Adidas messaging, but those kind of things, those billboards I would plaster all over my town so that people see it, re-see it, and gets fed into their mind. Positive mindset leads to a lot of positivity. But that's not what's going on in society today. So let's close out from here, yeah? So let's kind of recap. Yeah, fear is natural. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've been in situations in my life, especially in my younger years and as a teenager, where, I've done one or the other thing, where I've perceived those threats. I specifically remember one time at a skate park, I got into an argument with somebody, and everybody kind of circled around, and I specifically remember, I don't know what the argument was about, but I specifically remember, my heart was racing, my knees were, shaking a little bit. Yeah, but nothing happened in that situation. Everybody, after that argument, everybody just kind of dispersed, but I specifically remember that. Yeah, so it's a natural emotional response. But we need to learn to master it, and that's what I believe I've done, yeah? I teach my children the same thing, yeah? So whether, we're going hiking somewhere, they're on close to the edge of a cliff or whatnot, all these kind of things I don't want my children to pick up. I want them to live free. I want them also to create, their own environment, yeah? But if you live with fear, you're going to have you're going to miss out on a lot of things, let's just put it that way, yeah? Again, fear is triggered by a lot of things. Yeah, whether it's, biological, psychological, your past experiences, whatever it may be. Yeah, but if you have a specific situations, just seek help. Yeah? But understand fear. It is so important to maintain mental and physical health. I just read an article. Yeah, I just read an article to my wife a couple days ago. That I believe was on CBS or NBC. I don't know. But it said that I believe in, and I need to fact check this, that in the U.S., they're now thinking about, overweight children starting at the age of 12 to give strong medication, and at the age of 13 that they can start having kind of surgery. And why? That so much fear being spread right there. If I was a parent, I would, encourage my child to learn and to exercise, to learn about, calories, food intake, food expenditure, not in the sense of like a bodybuilder or whatnot, but to encourage the positivity. Why do we need medication or surgeries to fix that? You don't, yeah? Fear can be communicated in messaging. It's communicated in different ways, just like that article, yeah? But we need to start reducing fear in society. We need to be mindful of the type of language and the imagery we use in communication. Yeah, because it has so many consequences. Just look at the past 2-3 years. Yeah? Fear and worry in moderation are absolutely natural instincts of self-preservation. But if you live in constant irrational fear or prolonged worry for that matter, then, that is going to be, you're basically the enemy of your own body. Yeah? I'd like to finish up with a quote. Just think about this. And I don't know where it is. I got to Google it. Who said this? But worry dries up the blood sooner than age. Think about this, guys. Yeah? As we move towards transforming to positivity. And this topic goes so much deeper. But that being said, guys, stay dedicated, motivated, committed all day, every day.